when you put something on sale, you get a huge increase in people's demand for them. Okay? For some products, sort of necessities maybe, if you put them on sale, you only get a little bit of an increase. All right, let me give you some examples, and it's easier to go in the other direction of raising prices. Suppose, let's see, Daniel, suppose you're giving a wine and cheese party. Okay, of course I'm assuming that you're of age. So you need some toothpicks for the little cheese squares that you're going to put on your tray. So you go to the store and you discover that instead of that toothpicks have gone up by 50% in price, which is a pretty substantial increase. Okay, is that going to make you decide to buy a lot less because they're 50% more?
Probably. I probably would.
Okay. What does a box of toothpicks cost?
I mean,
anybody know?
Oh.
It's like $1. So a 50% increase, though it sounds like a lot, is only $1.50. So if I had been planning this party and I needed the toothpicks, the extra 50 cents isn't enough to make me say, no, I want to make people use their hands. Okay, so toothpicks, we would say, are not very elastic, right? And the reason why is because they cost so little to begin with. Somebody is making lots of noise here. Who's this? Green, is that you? No? Okay. All right, Aaron, got it. Okay, so second scenario. Suppose your landlord says, I'm raising your rent by 50%. Is that going to make you think maybe about moving?
Likely, yeah.
Yeah, because rent is a lot of money, and a 50% increase is definitely going to get your attention. Okay, so what we would say in that case is toothpicks, the demand for toothpicks is not very elastic. But the demand for rent really is, because rent is such a big ticket item in your life. Okay, so elasticity is very much an empirical property. Some goods are very elastic, some goods are not. If you were doing actual economics, you would worry about elasticities because it's going to have an impact on the quantitative answer that you would get with an analysis. It's not that important for principles students, and it's definitely not very important in macro, and that's why it's not a big deal. But thinking about these things is useful anyway, because you know, economic thinking is fairly generalizable. Okay.
Can I just ask?
Go on. Sure.
That based on the people that you're considering?
Absolutely. So, you know, rich people may have different elasticities than poor people. And also, elasticity is a generalized concept. It doesn't just apply to changes in the price. There are income elasticities. So when your income goes up, do you buy more or less, and how much? So yeah. So come back next semester and we'll put a little more time and effort into this topic. And for what it's worth, I guarantee you guys a seat in my class if you want it in the spring. Okay, anybody have any questions for me?
Actually, yes, I do. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know, I didn't see any due dates for the discussions. Are they supposed to be done within the week they are posted?
No, they're not due until I assign them. Yeah, and so we will do those discussions when we get closer to the topics. The first one we're sort of past, but the second one, the state of the economy one, you guys don't have the tools yet to really answer that question. So I will make, you know, just like I tell you when I want you to do the assignment, the regular assignments, I'll tell you when I want you to do the discussion assignments. The discussion will be better once you've read the module. You have a little more background to talk about it. Good question.
I also had a question about the law of supply.
Yes.
I was having trouble like understanding like how I would apply this to the supply curve.
Sure. The law of demand, start with something that we already talked about. Law of demand just says, does the demand curve go down or up as we lower the price? As we go from left to right, does the demand curve fall or rise? And we know that the answer, because we already talked about it, was that the demand curve falls at higher quantities. Okay? So when we say a demand curve is downward sloping, that just means a higher price will reduce the quantity demanded and a lower price will increase the quantity demanded. So price and quantity demanded are sort of negatively or inversely related. That's just the law of demand. The law of supply is completely analogous, except it's talking about the supply curve. So the question there is, if the price that businesses receive for a product goes up, how does that affect the amount that businesses will be willing to supply? So what's the answer? At higher prices, will businesses want to supply more or less?
Less.
Why?
Because it's more expensive to produce that product.
No, it's not. What we're saying is they're going to get a higher price if they sell it.
Oh, I completely switched it.
Right. So the law of supply says as the price goes up, businesses are going to want to supply more. They're going to make more profits if they supply more than if they supply the same old quantity. The law of supply says price and the amount that firms supply are positively related. When one goes up, the other goes up.
Okay.
Other questions? Yep.
Are we doing anything with the reading that we were supposed to have done by today, or is that?
We're going to talk about it. What did you think of that reading?
I really liked it.
Good.
The
Good.
introduction, especially, really, I don't know, put the reader in perspective about the study of economics.
Yeah. What I like about it is it doesn't read like a textbook. It's actually a history, but it's done in such a kind of an easy reading kind of way that I think it gives a lot of context for supply and demand graphs, just as an example. So I'm glad you liked it. Has everybody?
Yeah, especially
Go on.
the dialogue bit at the end where you were imagining if you were
Yep.
like on a panel consulting the leaders of a country.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was cool.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Has everybody connected up with their groups for doing the homework assignment?
Yes.
Good.
Well, actually, I have not received any email or notifications.
I did send you an email last week, and I just resent it to you. So if you check your UMW email, it should be there tonight.
Yeah, it's the people in that also received the email that we got. Those are the people in our groups, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I've already contacted them.
Good. Good.
And our assignment is due the 18th. That's Monday, right?
Correct. So you have the whole weekend to work on it.
And we skipped assignment 3 for the time being.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that this year.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Assignments be done over Skype, or does that be?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Assignments. They have to be. Or, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So ask again, sorry.
For the group assignments,
Yes.
can we do it over Skype? Because
You can do it however you want. You can do it over Skype. You can meet physically. You can talk by phone.
okay.
Yeah, it's up to you. And then I just make sure that you you each know the entire response when you send it to me, because most groups are going to divide up the work, but don't just look at your part. Look at everybody's part.
Got it. All right. I just wanted to clarify that part.
No problem. Anybody else? Hey, Ghanem, where is that picture? That's beautiful.
Well, actually, this is in Mount Rainier in Seattle. I'm actually from Seattle, so I moved here just a couple of months ago.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and I did like maybe more than like 300 hikes over there.
That reminds me of Mount Rainier, where I've hiked.
Exactly. This is Mount Rainier in Seattle.
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, well then I won't keep you, and I will see you next week. Next week we're going on to begin to talk about money. The module on money is quite long, and I only want you to do the first few parts of it. Now that we've talked about markets, I thought it would be useful to talk about what money is and how money adds to the markets. So in addition to the module readings, you should take a look at the article written by Mr. Spector. It's an article out of the Washington Post. It's really very interesting. It's an easy read. It really looks at the question of what is money and what makes money money.
Is that on Canvas or do we just look it up?
It is, no, if you click on the readings tab and throw in the password, you'll see all the readings, and this one is called the Spector article.
Okay. And when you said only do part of the module, do you want us to do the first half before and then wait until Wednesday to discuss about it in the Hangout?
Yeah, more or less. If you look at the course outline,
Mm-hmm.
it says, where is it? It says just do the first 4 sections on defining money through lending and creating money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so that's enough. That's the basics.
Okay. And then our exam is next week or the week after.
It's the week after, I think. It's the
29th.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it a night then, and I'll talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email, or I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Good night.